Then we tried to get Skinner, to lay our hands on Skinner. And we forgot to play the ball.
The new-look All Black forwards continued to make their mark. Skinner, Jones, Hemmie and Hill were causing trouble for the South Africans. And for the first time in the series, the Springboks were losing their superiority in the scrums.
But from a scrummaging point of view, it was the pure strength in the front of the scrum that really they just couldn't take the pressure and the power of the New Zealand front row. And I can still see Chris Cock coming out of one ruck with, you've heard about, the eyes sticking out, and he was so under pressure and so confronted with the weight in the scrum, which he basically found almost impossible to take. His eyes came out to the point of being almost ready to drop off. Now, that was pressure to which we applied, which they couldn't absorb, and they had never experienced that sort of pressure in the scrum before.
The referee, Bill Fright, awards a penalty.
There were a few punches thrown, and Mr. Fright, the referee, had to come in and sort it out.
Well, if Bill Fright didn't know what was going on, I'd point it out to him. And if I had to maybe nudge Becker or Cock, it would bring the attention to it, and Bill was the sort of person I know who would fix it up, and that's exactly what happened.
Kevin had actually said to Ian, my brother, that if things are going fairly well, let's change sides, because he said, I'd like to have a pack down against Yapi Becker again. Now, the first couple of scrums, Yapi Becker put Kevin on his knee, and when, of course, he put him down the second time, Bill Fright, the referee, said, come on, fellas, get this scrum settled. And Kevin said to Yapi, he said, you hear that, Yapi? He said, no more. And he put him down, and of course, all hell broke loose, because Kevin used a tactic that doesn't go along in the game of rugby.
He hooked Jaap Becker and knocked him unconscious. His only job during the whole game, he stood there and threw punches.
But he made his presence felt, that he said, you're using an illegal tactic. And so he said, I will retaliate. And Kevin, I'll never forget, after the game, I saw the fold of skin that he must have caught Yapi's teeth as well, and it folded back like a sandwich.
Attitude was, you're a front ranker, and if you can't take it, don't play there. And Jaap took it. I mean, Jaap was not afraid of anything, and I think, and I must quite honestly say this, I think Jaap Becker was the strongest man I ever scrummed against.
It can't be denied, however, that Skinner was a very strong, tough prop, and New Zealand were a much more formidable scrum formation, which they needed to be to beat the Springboks in the third and fourth tests.
For a try, wide out.
Murray Dixon was the first to score in front of his hometown crowd in Christchurch. Clark's conversion made it 11-0, but the Springboks have plenty of fight left in them.
Call them in, and Lochner flies up to take the ball and go over 6 minutes after the start of the second spell.
Unbelievably, with one leg, I ran through the All Black side. It was just too dramatic. Unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it, how easy they were to run through. This great All Black team.
Cock gets the ball. He hangs on, twists his way back, gets it to Gentle, who sets off on a beautiful run.
The Springboks had claimed that injuries had stopped them playing their full potential. However, they were clearly still capable of producing moments of genius.
Don Clark comes in to tackle his man. Ackerman gets it away to Becker, and he races now across the All Blacks 25. Brown gets in, but out goes the ball to Duran. He sends it on to Rosenberg, who streaks for the line. All Black captain Duff makes a despairing dive, but Rosenberg is over right behind the post.
With only 1 point separating the teams, All Black winger Ron Jardine scored in the corner to the delight of the crowd. Peter Jones then started a move which set up Tiny White for a try that all but sealed the game.
Again a pass goes astray, and suddenly Peter Jones bursts his way through, collects the ball and whips it out to Dixon. From nowhere, Tiny White appears to take
the spectators were ecstatic, but the match had taken a heavy toll on both sides.
I think Ponty Reid touched on it. He said if you played at this level of intensity, he said, I think you'd be a mental case within 2 or 3 years.
The battered tourists then faced a Maori 15. This game could never have taken place in South Africa, where rugby was a white-only sport.
The games I enjoyed most in my whole career was the game against the Maoris. No, you know, I scored a try in that game. That's not the reason but the whole spirit of the game. I love to play against them. I had nothing against them.
On the surface, it was a great showcase of rugby, but underneath, things were different. Danny Craven had addressed the Maori players before the match.
And he said, fellas, we'd like you to go out and play the game. No dirt. It's a supreme thing for Maoris and for the Springboks to get the image right.
We had, as well, we had the Minister of Maori Affairs, who was also the Ministry of Forestry, who came and his team talk was not the sort of team talk that we wanted in a team playing against another national team. He was more or less saying now, tone it down and remember that, you know, just keep it right. And, he was not the fellow who we were looking for to give us a team talk to put forward our best foot and to give it everything we had. The game itself was flat. There wasn't the singing, there wasn't the vocal support. It was one of those games, and unfortunately I played in it, yes, and we were well beaten.
A win against the Maoris under their belt, the Springboks returned to Auckland for what was being dubbed the match of the century. On the verge of losing their first ever Test series, the pressure was enormous. The whole of New Zealand was against them.
The players were determined to win. The whole build-up to the Test was really there. And I believe that New Zealand's side could not have been beaten that day.
South Africa get off on the wrong foot as Nell stopped the ground with his toe.
Only a miracle could have saved us. And so we virtually, we had mentally accepted we were going to go down 3-1.
It was a dream start for the All Blacks, who took an early lead.
12 yards nearer the post, John Clark kicks a beautiful penalty.
Then it was time for Peter Jones, the 18-stone fisherman, to step into the limelight.
The relentless drive of the All Blacks.
It's a thing I wouldn't like to go through again, because so much rested on you. You're either going to be chucked into the scrap heap or you're going to come a famous All Black.
Fortunately for Peter Jones, it was the latter, and he wrote himself into New Zealand rugby folklore.
In it goes, in the front of the line out. Heaney comes through with the ball at his toe. Going over, he knocks it out of driver's hands. Jones is coming down. He takes it and he's got it to goal. This is a try for New Zealand. It's a try for New Zealand. Peter Jones has scored.
What a magnificent footballer. On his day, I rated him very, very highly. And when he got that ball and scoring that try, I don't think Jonesy sidestepped Buzzy Viviers. I think Buzzy Viviers did the sidestep.
In the front of the line out.